I've questioned myself for so long that it's hard to imagine I'll ever be enough. But your love gives me hope that maybe I don't need to be perfect to deserve you. I've spent so much time feeling like I'm not good enough for you, wondering if I'll ever measure up. But your love makes me feel like maybe, just maybe, I am. I never thought I could be enough for someone like you, but your love is so unconditional. It makes me believe that even in my imperfections, I could still be worthy. There are days when I feel like I'll never be good enough for you, but when you hold me, it's as if you're telling me that I don't have to be perfect, just true to myself. I've doubted myself for as long as I can remember, but in your arms, I start to believe that maybe being enough isn't about meeting impossible standards, but about being loved as I am. I often think that I'm not enough for you, that I fall short in so many ways. Yet, every time you show me love, you remind me that I don't need to be more than who I am. There's a part of me that constantly questions if I'm worthy of the love you give. But when you smile at me, I feel like in that moment, I could be enough. Sometimes I feel like no matter what I do, I'll never be enough. But then you look at me with such love in your eyes, and I start to believe that maybe I already am. I've always been my harshest critic, never thinking I was enough for anyone. But with you, it's like I'm slowly learning that I don't have to be perfect to be loved. Every day I worry that I'm not enough for you, that I'll never be everything you need. But when you're near, all those fears seem to fade, if only for a little while. I've never been able to shake the feeling that I'm not good enough. But with you, I'm starting to see that love isn't about being flawless. It's about being real and honest. I wonder if you'll ever realize how much I doubt myself, how often I question if I'm good enough for you. But you never make me feel inadequate, only loved. Even when I'm at my lowest, feeling like I'm not enough, you stand by me. Your love is a light in the darkness, reminding me that maybe I'm more than I think I am. There's a voice inside that constantly tells me I'm not enough. But when you hold me close, it's like you quiet that voice, showing me that love can heal even the deepest insecurities. I've never felt like I truly belonged anywhere, but with you, I feel like I've finally found a place where I'm enough, just as I am. I've spent my life feeling like I wasn't good enough for anyone, but with you, it's like I've found a love that makes me believe in myself, even just a little. There's a fear inside me that you'll realize one day that I'm not enough. But with every kiss, every word of love, you reassure me that maybe I already am. I never thought I'd be enough for someone like you, but your love makes me want to believe that maybe, just maybe, I am worthy of the happiness you bring into my life. I've always wondered if I'm enough, if I'll ever be deserving of the love you give so freely. But your patience, your kindness, makes me feel like I could be. I'm scared that you'll wake up one day and realize I'm not what you need. But until then, I'll keep holding on to the way you make me feel like I'm enough. The fear of not being enough for you haunts me every day. But your love, your unwavering belief in me, helps me push past that fear and believe that I'm worthy. I've spent years feeling like I wasn't good enough for anyone. But with you, it's like I'm learning that love isn't about being enough. It's about being present and trying. There are moments when I feel like I'll never measure up, like I'll always fall short. But then you love me, and I start to think that maybe being enough is about being loved despite the flaws. Sometimes I feel like I'll never be enough, that I'm too flawed, too broken. But with you, I'm learning that love sees beyond the imperfections and embraces the heart. I've always believed I was too much or not enough, but never just right. But with you, I'm starting to feel like maybe I'm exactly who I'm meant to be. I've doubted myself for so long, never feeling like I was enough for anyone. But your love makes me feel like I could be more than I ever thought possible. I worry that I'll never be the person you deserve, that I'll never be enough for you. But you love me in ways that make me believe I don't have to be perfect to be worthy. There's a fear deep inside that I'll never be enough. But your love is so steady, so pure, that it makes me question if maybe I've been wrong all along. I've questioned my worth for so long, I'm not sure I know how to stop. But with you, it's like I'm learning how to see myself in a way that I've never been able to before. Sometimes I look at you and wonder why you'd choose someone like me. I question if I'm enough to meet your needs, if I'm enough to deserve the love you give so freely. I've doubted myself over and over again, wondering if I'm good enough for you. But in your eyes, I see a love that tells me maybe I am, even when I struggle to believe it. There are moments when I feel like I'm not worthy of the love you offer. But then you smile, and for a second, I think that maybe I am enough. I've spent countless nights thinking about everything I lack. Yet, when I'm with you, the fear fades a little, and I start to believe that maybe I can be more than my insecurities. Every time you tell me you love me, I question if I'm deserving of it. Deep down, I hope that your love will help me believe in my worth, the way you do. I often feel like I'm not enough, like I'll never measure up to the person you deserve. But with every word, every touch, you remind me that love isn't about perfection. You've seen all my flaws and insecurities, yet you stand by me. It's hard to understand how someone like me could be enough for you, but somehow you make me believe I am. There's this voice in my head telling me I'm not good enough for anyone, let alone you. But your love drowns out that voice and makes me feel like maybe I can be more. I've always doubted myself, always believed I wasn't enough. But with you, I find a love that makes me question everything I've ever thought about myself. Sometimes I feel like you could do better, like I'm just not enough. But in your love, I find strength to keep trying, hoping that one day I'll see what you see in me. I've always been haunted by the feeling that I'm not good enough. But when you look at me, it's like you see a version of me that I've never known, one that might be worthy of love. Every time I fall into the trap of doubting myself, you're there to pull me out. It's hard to believe I'm enough, but with you, I think I'm starting to learn how to. I'm not perfect. I've never been the best at anything. But with you, I've learned that love doesn't require perfection, just honesty and effort. There are times I feel like I don't deserve you, that I'm just not good enough. But your love is so constant, so forgiving, that I'm starting to think maybe I am worthy after all. I've spent so long believing I wasn't enough for anyone. But with you, it's like I'm seeing myself in a new light, one where maybe I can be someone worthy of love. In the moments where I feel like I'm falling short, you always lift me up. It's hard to imagine I'm enough, but with you by my side, it feels a little more possible. There's a part of me that always wonders if you'll wake up one day and realize I'm not enough. But your love never wavers, and it gives me hope that maybe I am. I've questioned myself time and time again, doubting if I'm good enough for you. But every day, your love reminds me that maybe I'm more than I think I am. I've never been the best at loving myself, but with you, it's like I'm learning how to see the good in me, the parts that are worth loving. Sometimes I feel like I'm just pretending to be good enough for you. But you look at me with such love and sincerity that I start to believe I can be. I'm always afraid of letting you down, of not being enough. But you've never made me feel like I had to be more than I am. Your love makes me feel like I'm already enough. I've never felt like I belonged, like I was enough for anyone. But with you, I found a place where I feel seen, heard, and maybe, just maybe, enough. The fear of not being enough haunts me every day. But your love, your patience, your understanding, they help me fight that fear and believe in something better. There's a part of me that believes I'll never be enough. But with you, that part is getting smaller. You make me feel like I'm worth the love you give so freely. I've always felt like I was too much or not enough, but never just right. But with you, I'm starting to feel like maybe I'm exactly who I need to be. Sometimes I wonder if I'll ever be enough for you. But then you love me without condition, and I start to believe that maybe I don't have to be perfect to be enough. I've never known how to be enough for anyone, least of all myself. But your love has a way of making me feel like maybe, just maybe, I'm worth something. I'm scared that one day you'll see the real me and decide I'm not enough. But until then, I'll hold on to the way you look at me, like I'm everything you need. The idea of being enough has always felt out of reach. But with you, it's like I'm learning how to believe in the possibility that I could be. I've spent my whole life thinking I wasn't good enough. But then you came along and made me believe that love could change everything, even the way I see myself.